Last video, we did a basic C programming with hands-on, just to keep people compelled as to what C can do, and once you get the hang of it, how fast you can implement programs and stuff like that. Just to keep that, just to get you a taste of C programming. So in this video, we'll be talking about the very basic structure of C programming. So we just start off with the header section. So in the header section, we hold libraries, external libraries that we want to bring into our program. And these libraries could be libraries that you've made. These libraries can be libraries that other developers have made. We do have a batch of standard libraries that are included into the GNU compiler. And it would really suck if we have to reinvent the wheel of printf. And printf is one of the functionalities that come out of one of the standard library, which the stdlib.h. I'm sorry, the stdio is where printf comes from. Like I said, these there's libraries that do come out of the standard GCC GNU compiler right out of the box, and there's no extensive provisioning to use a lot of them, to use them at all. So let's go into the program entry point. So the programming entry point would be your int main, which we would call a function. Okay, your int main function. And there's two different flavors of this. You have one of them where you have the int argc char star argv, which allows you to use your program as if it's like a CLI, where other users or whoever's using your program can pass in arguments, and you process those arguments, okay? But int argc and char star argv is optional, depending on what you want the functionality of your program to be, and you can also remove that out if you don't expect anyone to process any arguments. If it's like a monolithic type application where it does one thing and one thing only, that could be a case. Or if you just want simplicity. So let's talk about the return 0 and the int. Okay, int main, particularly int, means that the program will return an integer, a number. Yep, let's go back to second grade where we learned about integers, rational numbers. Yes, you will have to use that in programming or software engineering. We use that today. So this is to let the system know the return code, and in most cases return code 0 means the program ran successful. Any return code outside of that, the system would acknowledge that it was an error. So for instance, a 127 might be a either permissions or file not found. I think it's like file not found. So I already mentioned that the int argc and the char argv is optional. Just an example of how that's used is, for instance, our driver that we wrote that we put in for adding numbers that someone passes in from the outside. So /driver arg1 arg2, which was 1, 2, and 3 in our case. And what happens is 1 is argument 1, which is the first argument. 2 is argument 2, which is the second argument, so on and so on and so on. Bringing it all together, just to show a small snippet of what a basic program would be. Now that you have that basic structure, this will always be the first thing that you write in every program when you're writing a C program. argc, and just to give some more in-depth explanation of argc and argv, argc is the argument count, how many arguments you have. argv holds the values which are stored into an array, which is an advanced subject We'll get more into that as I make more videos, because that will lead off into data structures and some math. If you notice in my editor, I have highlighting, where it shows different colors for different things. This is called syntax highlighting, which my text editor is configured to show highlighting based on the extension of the file. So I have a .cc, and there's a configuration as to, oh, if it's .cc, then this must be a C program or a C++ program. What happens is it highlights and lets you know that these are reserved words. So, for instance, int is a reserved word, char is a reserved word, include is a reserved word. With the include with the pound sign is a reserved word. So I just wanted to explain some of the basic anatomy of a C program. I hope this video is very useful, and hopefully in the future we get some more hands-on, and I plan to release a new video soon after this one to explain some of the data types.